Are you an indie podcast or content creator looking to reach a wider audience? Look no further. Introducing Podcastic, the ultimate podcast network designed exclusively for indie creators like you. At Podcastic, we believe in the power of unique voices and fresh perspectives. We're here to amplify your passion and creativity, connecting you with a growing community of engaged listeners who crave original content. Podcastic is more than just a platform. It's a support system built for indie podcasters, offering a range of resources to help you succeed. From tailored promotional campaigns to professional production assistance, we're here to help you shine. Our intuitive platform makes it easy for you to be seen and heard. We do all the heavy lifting for you. You just show up and create. Plus, with our advanced analytics, you'll gain valuable insights into your audience's preferences, allowing you to refine your content and grow your fan base. Ignite your passion, expand your reach, and thrive with Podcastic. Visit our website at www.podcasticlife.com to get started. Podcastic, the home for indie podcast and content creators.
What's up? Welcome to Creative Emotions. I am your host, Vaquita Q. If this is your first time joining, make sure you go on over to YouTube and subscribe for weekly great videos. And the things you can expect here is encouragement, information, empowerment, inspiration, transparency, and these good vibes, okay? Ain't nothing you can do about that. You're going to get the good vibes. Shout out to Podcasting. Shout out to Facebook. Shout out to TikTok, Instagram, wherever you are watching. Again, make sure you connect. This is, again, a platform for the people, for all things self-discovery. All things self-discovery. Everything that we do on this journey is exactly for that reason, to become the best version of who you are. I'm not here to tell you to do anything. I'm here to invite you to live your best life. And so I have a few announcements. Poetry and Conversations will be April 18th. I'm so excited about it. It will be April 18th. The feature for that evening will be Tiffany Cole, such a beautiful, beautiful soul. And there is a new location. I am so excited, moving right along, but there is a new location. So be looking out for that. Be looking out for the Eventbrite that will come with it. My book is still available at www.thecreativeemotions.com. You can get your copy. Shout out to those that are watching. Make sure you share this, okay? Share this with your family and your friends. Just coming to give a really quick message. Again, if you have an event and you are looking for a host, if you're looking for a host, MC, you can go to www.thecreativeemotions.com and you can definitely reach out to me there because that is where all of my information is. So the show today is Surviving Broken People. That is the name of the show. I'm trying to make sure we have everybody attached and everybody on. Again, the name of the show is Surviving Broken People. And a lot of us have to deal with that. So I definitely overcame a situation dealing with a broken person, if you will, and it affects you. And you can be the one, causing the pain, right? Being the one that affects other people. And so survival is continuing to live, exist, or persist, particularly despite challenging conditions, danger, or after a specific event. And so let's be honest, we have all survived, again, a messed up relationship, or for the sake of just being loyal or naive, whatever you want to call it. We have all been there. We have all done that. We have survived harsh and unhealthy working conditions with a job or two, maybe. Okay. Because I know some people can write a book about dealing with different jobs. We survived jealous and envious one-sided friendships. I know I had a friendship where it was really just one-sided. All I can do for this person. And I didn't realize it, again, because your heart is big. And if you're a believer, your heart is big. People will try to use your heart. People will try to use that against you. And so that's a real thing. Whether you can identify with one or, again, either all of these examples, the purpose is to state that you are a survivor, and just speaking what it is. You are a survivor. Surviving broken people is even including yourself, because again, we can definitely move around in a way it's not conducive to us. It's not conducive to the person that you're trying to be, what it is you're trying to do. And so, we got to be mindful of how we're operating. We are a lot of times our worst critic, just being so hard on yourself. I looked over my life in the time that I allowed, my energy to be spent, my time to be spent with certain people. And it's like, you think about it now because of the growth, that you have. You think about it now and you can beat yourself up about it, but you can't, because you didn't know, and everything happens again for your greater good, whether it's good or bad. Because even that situation helped me to realize what type of woman I am, because people can see you and you won't even see yourself. People can literally see you and see what type of person you are, but you are unable to see yourself. And so you just got to be careful not to beat yourself up, not to be so hard on yourself. But they must have needed that love. They must have needed that energy. They must have needed that time. And so be easy on yourself. Disclaimer again, everything that we have been through has created the people that we are today. It's created the person you are today. So you definitely got to be mindful of that. Definitely be mindful of the fact nobody can take advantage of you, because at the end of the day, that will be used as a tool in your toolbox. Next time you see a person coming and you see the way they moving, you just shut it right on down. Just shut it right on down. This is just a conversation, again, on being able to have a testimony through it all. But God, okay? Even if we can just say, but God. At the end of the day, that's really what it is. Revelations 12:11, and they have conquered him by the blood of the Lamb and the word of their testimony. Your testimony, again, is spiritual weapons. It's a weaponry when it comes to the works of darkness that have influenced the minds of believers. Think about how many people have literally taken themselves out of this time-space reality. They have taken themselves out because their mind was so influenced. Their mind was so cloudy. Their mind was so just backed up with negative thoughts, or, about the relationship they lost, the home. You have men that kill their whole family when things go bad. You have people it all started with a thought. Just think about that. How powerful are your thoughts when you can do something so detrimental to change everybody's life in a split second? That's because your mind, again, is a very, very powerful weapon. Your testimony is a very, very powerful weapon. And say, you know what, I went through that, but I got through that. I got through it. And that is the main thing, being able to get through it and saying, I'm on the other side. Victory is mine, okay? I done got through to the other side. And that is just something that we have to, this is why I'm saying you're a survivor, because we go through so many things. We can, say together we can say, oh, I went through that. Oh, I went through that too. But you have no idea, again, what a person has went through or suffered or is still getting through, because a lot of people don't know how to forgive. They don't know how to let things go. And so those things linger. They linger into relationship to relationship to relationship. It lingers from person to person, from, it lingers. And so we definitely got to be mindful of that. I never had plans to harm myself, but the thought crossed my mind one time when I was in a very messed up relationship, and I was sitting there and I didn't think about harming myself. I didn't think about an act or a way to do it. I didn't think about any of that. But what I did do is I thought, if I'm not here no more, I don't have to deal with this no more. Right? It got to the point where I just wanted to be out of the situation. Like, okay, if I'm just not here, I don't have to deal with it. But what? Like, because of what somebody else is doing? No, that's why we have to be strong in our mind. We have to be mindful of, the things we say, the words we used. again, just how we operate, how we move. You know, how many people have those negative thoughts? Think about that while encountering a broken person. How many people have those negative thoughts to just, you're not thinking about doing anything to yourself, but it may just run across your mind. Like, you know, I just can't, you know, you got to be careful with your words, because only you can put a curse on you with your words. The enemy can come and influence. The enemy can try to influence you. But your words are ultimately is going to be what shape your life, because he don't have that much power. Okay. And that's what we got to know. He don't have that much power. You know, again, relationships, marriages usually are broken people we encounter that we spend the most time with. I spent a long time of my life with a person, you know, and it was like, I learned a lot. I wouldn't change it. I wouldn't change it for anything, because it was a part of the journey. Again, everything is a part of the journey. Everything is a part of your journey. That's what we got to know. That's what we got to understand. And make sure if you just joined and share this, you are live on my podcast. If you want to see the whole podcast, you can go to YouTube and type in my name or type in the business Creative Emotions, and you'll see it on there. Make sure if you have not subscribed. I am talking about dealing with surviving broken people. And this is a live call-in show, so you can call in as well. I see my YouTube is not up. But yeah, we're going to just keep it moving. And I knew that was going to happen. But yeah, we just going to keep it moving. So whether it's, again, showing loyalty or trying to be chosen while not choosing you, trying to be accepted and loved, even something so simple as getting attention. And for young women, this is major, okay? Trying to get attention or getting attention and allowing yourself to do things that you would not normally do, or put yourself in situations you would not normally feel comfortable in, to get that acceptance, to get that love, to get chosen, and again, for that attention. Side note, fathers, please be involved in your children's life. And that is for male and female, but female in particular, be involved in your children's lives. You are needed, you are wanted, and the world needs you, okay? So just know that when you're having these children, don't leave them to the survival of a single mother. Your children need you. You know, dealing with a broken person and trying to fix them usually drags you down a dark road where lines get crossed. You know, people have to understand your good energy. If people are drawn to it, you don't think they can take from it? So people are drawn to it, but your energy can be contaminated. It can be contaminated. Your joy and your happiness is at jeopardy of being drained. The person will mirror you until you get strong enough, and then put you back in the cycle of unspoken abuse, because it's not called abuse, right? When it's mental. People think just because somebody putting hands on you, then that is abuse. But abuse is when people mess with your mental. When people mess with your mental, and I'm talking about surviving broken people. You have survived a relationship with the person or an interaction with the person. You survived it, which means you should have gotten something out of it, right? You should have learned something from it. And so that is major. We have to understand the person will mirror you. And so all the things you do, all the things you say, they'll be, oh, yeah, great. Yes, of course. Everything you say and do, until you're not strong enough anymore. Now you got back into the cycle. Hurt people. That also means spirits transfer. You have to be careful. Have you ever been around somebody and they were so negative or just like down, Debbie Downers and Doubting Dans all day long? Have you ever just been around them and then you leave and you like, why do I feel this way? Because you have literally taken on their energy, their spirit. You have taken on their likeness. And that's why the word talks about, being made in God's image and in his likeness, because when you are getting close, when you draw close to God, God will draw close to you. And so that is the same thing what we do with these human relationships. When you draw close to a person, be careful. Be careful, because that energy can seep into your sphere. Think about it. When you close your eyes and somebody's in the room, you can feel them. You know that they are there because your spirit is bigger than you are. Your spirit is bigger. But guess what? When we don't feed it, it shrinks. And guess what? You are more susceptible to people's energy penetrating yours. And that's why I try to keep in my mind like a bubble. I just put a bubble around me, because you go out into this world and everybody's going through something different. And think about, how are you protecting yourself daily? The Bible talks about putting on the full armor of God. Putting on the full armor, your helmet, your breastplate, your shoes, walking around with your word, however you got to have it in physical form or on your phone. You know, how are you arming yourself for what we have to deal with on a daily? And we're not even talking about the people in our own homes. You should not have an enemy in your home, but let's face the facts. That's reality. The reality is that people are dealing with the enemy in their own home. And so there are ways to combat that. Okay. There are ways. There is a way out. You know, we can get all the information. We can read all the scriptures in the world. But if you don't internalize it and truly believe it, it would not stand up to the abuse that people knowingly or unknowingly distribute to you. It don't matter. If a person don't know that they're harming you, they won't get healed. And so again, I'm talking about surviving people that just don't know. They hurt. Surviving broken people. That doesn't mean that God can't use them, because God can use broken people. God will use broken people. This is a live call-in show as well. You could put that number up. Let me see what that number is. 1-810-560-0658. This is, again, a live call-in show. So you can call in. They was supposed to be live on YouTube, but it's probably going to be rebroadcast because it's not coming up. So this will come back on if you are just joining to get the whole thing. Shout out to Podcastic, because I know it's still on there too, because it is live. Shout out to those watching on TikTok. Shout out to you guys. Make sure you share this. This is, again, something God put on my heart, not going through it, okay? We go through it and we know. So just make sure you share this. If it comes across your timeline, make sure you share this. I'm talking about surviving broken people. God can still use broken people. Let's not get it twisted. But somebody else had to pay that price. So somebody else was on the other end of another broken person. It's a cycle that continues. But you don't want to be the person another person has to heal from. And so you got to be careful how you're treating people, and be careful if somebody hurt you, or if you were in a relationship like that you are not harming people. You got to be careful of that. You got to be careful. You know, he used David after adultery. He used Paul after he killed Christians. He used Peter after he denied Jesus. He lied. He straight up lied. God still used them. So God can still use people that are not, you know, that are broken. And so that's something that we have to, you know, be mindful of. This is about surviving those broken people. Again, after a tornado runs wild, what happens? What's left? What's left after a tornado runs wild? You have debris. You have a house a house that has fallen apart. The vehicle flipped upside down. The garage is into pieces. So just think about that. Let's talk about spiritually what happens when you encounter a broken person. Your faith get low. You doubt. Your doubt, it draws near. Your words get sloppy. You start speaking negatively about yourself and about the situation. And our words have power. So you got to be careful what you're doing and what you're saying with your words. You know, your confidence takes a hit. Your prayer life suffers. And so we're thinking about all these different things that happen when we are dealing with broken people. When you deal with broken people, you survive it. You're no longer in that situation. You know, what happens? So you are a survivor, you are our survivor, not to take the same pain and confusion amongst other things and build a wall or create a shield. A lot of times women shut down. We be like, you know what? I'm done. I can't. I'm done. I can't do it. A lot of times we shut down. I'm not letting nobody else in. I'm not dating no more. I'm not doing this. We just put a whole wall up. And so it's really not healthy that way, because being vulnerable actually is growth. Being vulnerable helps you to be a better person. That's something that we have to realize. Shout out to those that are watching. I see Nikki, PJ, C1006, Jonette Griffin, Silver Fox, and Kevin. What's up, Kevin? Shout out to you. Again, you are watching my live podcast. You're watching it live, but it's actually going on. Shout out to those that are watching. If you are watching this rerun, because it will be back on, just make sure you share with some people. That's crazy. But you are a survivor. Women don't move like men. And that's what we got to realize. Even though we try to sometimes. We do not move like men. Women, don't try it, okay? Don't think for a minute that you're going to try to operate like a man. We built different. And even though you know, they try, it's unnatural. And again, it becomes a part of our memory bank. So somewhere down the line, you will have to deal with the things that you put into the earth. And so be careful. No matter what happens, you will have to go back and eat the fruit, the remnants of the seeds that you have sown throughout life. And so it's best that we treat people well. We are kind, we give, and we just be, okay? Because whatever you do, no matter what, you can't say, look, God, somebody hurt me, so I'm hurting them, or somebody hurt me, so they're going to see how it feel. There's no excuse. There is no excuse, especially when you know how it feel. And so we have to be accountable for ourselves. We have to be accountable for what it is that we put out into the earth. And so just be mindful of that. Women, we are not like men. Don't even try it. We try it. I don't know why, but we try it. And it ain't it. It's unnatural, and it doesn't help. And if you are just joining, I'm talking about surviving broken people. And so if you've been in a relationship with someone who has hurt you, whether they knew it or not, I'm talking to you. This is the thing. Make sure you forgive that person. Make sure you're not walking around with unforgiveness. Make sure you hold to that. I don't want anybody feeling the way I felt, right? I don't want anybody to have to feel this way, or to be lonely in a relationship, or, to be disrespected in a relationship. I don't want anybody to feel this. So you make sure you don't do it. Surviving and thriving after being in a draining and harsh marriage situation will cause for some serious prayer and fasting. Okay? Prayer and fasting. Some people don't know. Both of them go together. You need both of them. In Matthew 17:15, when a certain man brought his son to Jesus because the disciples could not do anything with him, the man called his son a lunatic. He called him a lunatic. Okay. And we use this when when people road rage and the things of that nature, but people are becoming lunatics. And I'm going to give you definitely the definition for that. But he said in Matthew 17:17, then Jesus answered and said, "O faithless and perverse generation, how long shall I be with you? How long shall I suffer you? Bring him hither to me." And Jesus rebuked the devil, and he departed out of him, and the child was cured from that very hour. So you got the disciples that's been under his tutelage, that's been under the wings, the feet, the back of Jesus, and they go in and cannot pray a headache off a fly. But they go in and try to remove a demon from a person. And the Lord is like, how long? How long do I got to be? Y'all been hanging with me. Y'all been right here. What's going on? What's wrong? But the disciples asked, why could we not cast them out? And so in Matthew 17:21, it says, howbeit this kind goeth out but by fasting and prayer and fasting. So that means there was a little bit more work that had to be done on their part. Jesus also speaks about faith the size of a mustard seed. So being able to believe what it is you actually believe. If you're saying you believe in God, you actually got to believe it. And you got to put those things to the test. And a lot of times we go through things to exercise our faith. I was having a conversation with somebody and they kept saying, God, help me to stop thinking about this person. And the person pulled up right in that moment. She said, I asked God to help me. Like, why would he pull up? Because you asking to stop thinking about it, which means it's going to be something you're going to have to stop allowing, which means there's going to be some boundaries that got to be set. So every time God is bringing it back to you. Okay, you're going to try it this time? Okay, you're going to do it this time? Because the power lies within you. Okay, you're going to do it this time? And so we pray and say, God, if this person not for me, remove them. Or we make these prayers out and, God is saying, you got the power. So what do you want to do? I don't want to deal with it no more, Lord. So going back to this scripture, some things don't go but by praying and fasting. And so being in different relationships and you're dealing with that spirit, different spirits, okay, but we're talking about the lunatic spirit in particular. Prayer and fasting. That means it needs to be a little bit more than complaining with your girlfriends about your relationship or complaining to your guy friends about your relationship. It needs to be some work put in. That's what I'm getting from this. It's got to be some work. So love this topic. I was definitely a broken person that somebody had to survive while going through the process to heal. Okay. Wow. Going through the process to heal so I am better going forward. That's what's up. That's what's up. Make sure you share this. I had a little discrepancy with YouTube. So I just shared this podcastic. But thank you guys for watching. Make sure you share this. Again, if you're just joining, I'm talking about surviving a broken person and what this looked like. And so Matthew 17:17, the disciples went to go and cast the spirit out of this lunatic boy, as his father called him, and they were unable to do it. And so God was saying they don't go out but by fasting and praying. And I brought this scripture up to say, if you survived a lunatic or if you're still in it, it's by choice at this point. And you have to work to exercise your right to rebuke those spirits. And in order to rebuke those spirits, because again, I'm sure the disciples was in there rebuking and slapping oil and slobbing and fighting. But if you have no power, that the spirit is going to just laugh at you. And I believe that's what we're dealing with. A lot of people call it mental health about everything. But there is a such thing as demons, as spirits. Like, we have to call it what it is sometimes and not, just put a nice bow on it to say, oh, they're having mental health issues. No. Every time something happens, you look at somebody going crazy in a plane and just go crazy. Oh, they had a mental health crisis. No, they had a spirit. They had a spirit, and the believers, it is time for people to wake up in the spiritual realm to be able to call those things out, just like Jesus did. He said, greater work shall we do. And so he didn't play with them spirits. He called it out right then and there. And in that very hour, it was gone. And so you think about the relationships that we have cultivated with people just, doing whatever they want to do, however they want to do, abusing. You got people that are getting physically abused, people that are getting mentally abused. And so it's time to use that power that you have. But the only way we can do that is by using the tools that he put in place for us to have that power, for us to have the gang of angels around us, so you ain't going in a room by yourself. Never. You never by yourself. And so that's something that we got to think about too. Bestie, I see you on there. I'm sorry. It wasn't working on the, on YouTube. It didn't come up. But again, if not, we going to look crazy. We going to look crazy like them disciples going in a fight with the wrong weapons. So you got to be careful that you are equipping yourself to deal with the lunatic spirits that we have out here. Okay. People are literally losing their mind. And I would not call it mental health crises all the time. I would say that person has a spirit of anger. That person has a spirit of lust. That person has a lunatic spirit. The spirit. If it's not God's spirit, it's call the spirit what it is and call it out while you at it. Call it right on up out of there. You know, an idle mind is a playhouse for the enemy to implant thoughts which can lead to actions for weak people. You know, what's in your toolbox? After you survive a lunatic, which is somebody acting wild, reckless, or dangerously foolish, and even irrational, how are you maintaining? How are you maintaining? If you're just joining, I'm talking about surviving broken people. God can use broken people. And if you want to go back and watch the full thing, it'll be on YouTube later. You can go on Podcastic and watch it as well, which I spoke to that already. But we're dealing with lunatic people out here. We're dealing with lunatic spirits. That's what we're dealing with. And we got to call a spade a spade. You got to call things out. We just being nice and pleasant. I remember just thinking back on different things that I dealt with. Like, what the heck? When you understand your power, you understand, because you gotta grow into it. You gotta know it. But when I understood, I'm like, oh my goodness, I allowed so much foolery. I allowed things to happen that was just like, what? How? Why? But again, forgive yourself, because you can go back and think about all the things you've been through, things you did, things you allowed. But again, it makes you the person that you are. So I had to go back and just say, you know what? Call myself Quita. Just let it go. You are who you are now. And certain things will never happen again. So you got to give yourself some credit. Give yourself some credit to just know, like, you didn't know then, but you know now. And you are survived. Hello, Trisha Sue. I see you. Thank you for joining. Again, this is talking about surviving broken people. Hurt people continue to hurt people. But it is a spirit. Call it what it is. Let's begin to use our power to call these spirits out. And you can only do that if you are putting the work in yourself. Fill yourself up first. A lot of times we are spread thin because we're filling somebody else's cup up while ours are empty. We sitting here with an empty cup just trying to fill somebody else's. Especially when the potential come in, boy, that potential be a bad boy. That potential be a bad boy. You just like, oh my goodness, what it could be, how it could be. And they showing us what it is. Okay, you're number 5, what it is. You're number 10, what it is. 15, what it is. 20 years, what it is. Only a person can make the decision to change themselves. And so be mindful of that when you are getting into situations. We are not here to change anyone. We are not here to save anyone. We are here to change ourselves and save ourselves so that whoever comes along in this journey that we link up with, they'll be blessed because of it. That is a motto that I said last year. I think I quoted that to myself. And I was like, girl, you ain't here to save everybody. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay to, drop a seed here and there or water if that's what you're supposed to do. But take your hands off of people. So, that's the lesson we got to continuously learn. And just pour that into yourself, man. Don't do it. You shouldn't have to release a person in order to pour into yourself. A lot of times that happen when people leave relationships. They be like doing everything, living their best life. And so we just got to be mindful of that. But I thought about another scripture, and this is what I'm going to end with. When you leave your soul without the Holy Spirit, beware of those familiar spirits that try to find their way back. And when an impure spirit comes out of a person, this is Matthew 11, goes through arid places seeking rest and does not find it, then it says, I will return to the house I left. When it arrives, it finds the house unoccupied. The house is you. The house is your spirit. The house is your soul. It finds the house unoccupied, swept clean, and put in order. So once you get them people out your spirit, you get all refreshed and you get all ready. Then it goes and takes with it 7 other spirits more wicked than itself, and go in and live there. And the final condition of that person is worse than the first. This is how it would be with this wicked generation. And so you got to be careful when you rid yourself of bad habits, of bad things, of, I would say unhealthy things, unhealthy habits, different things that do not create in you the best version of yourself. You want to be mindful to fill that space with good things. Fill that space with the word. Fill that space with time with the Lord. Fill that space with worship and prayer. Fill that space, because if not, you got rid of that spirit. Those familiar spirits will find its way back. And so you have to be careful. You have to be careful when you get rid of people, or when you release yourself of things that no longer serve you. Be careful to fill that space with things that can keep you solid, that can keep your foundation flat. Because if not, it's coming back. And clearly the word says it's coming back with a few more, with a vengeance. You be wondering about why am I doing this? Why am I saying this? Why am I thinking this? Because now, after you done swept everything clean, you never filled it back up with anything. And you want to fill it up with the Spirit. You want to fill yourself with the Spirit. So I'm going to leave you with this. Promises to yourself, okay? Because it's about you. All of this is about you. All of this is about you. It's not about anybody else. This is your journey. People are just here along the ride. They are here to come into your space at some point in time. That's what they're here for. But all of this is about you and for you. And so just think about, what do you play? What part do you play in somebody else's world? But that's not up for you to even pay attention to. Just making sure that you are good. Making sure that you are good. Forgive yourself. This is something I had to do. I had to talk with that young version. I had to talk with her. I had to tell her, look, I got this. Just back down and just let me have it from here. Okay. Sometimes you got to have that conversation with your younger self. I look at pictures and I know the person that I was at that time. Okay. We evolve. I look at pictures just like, wow, I'm a different person. That's what all of this is about. But I had to forgive myself, because I'm looking at myself like, what did you do? But I had to forgive myself. So I'm telling you, I'm imploring you to forgive yourself. If you feel like wasted years, they are not wasted years. Everything happens for a reason. Listen, God equips us. He gives us everything we need. And it's time for you to forgive yourself. So forgive yourself. If you are surviving a broken person and a couple of those pieces of yours were broken in the process, I need for you to forgive yourself. I need for you to do the healing work. This is the second thing I want to tell you. Do the healing work. Don't just say, I'm good, I'm fine, I ain't got to worry about it. No, do the work. Go see a therapist. Write down, get you a journal. Write down some things that are not so good about you so that you can change that. That's what healing yourself, doing the healing work is not, I'm about to go hang out. I'm about to, go soil your Royal Oaks or whatever they want to call it. You ain't got to do none of that. Heal yourself means put all that energy you were putting into that person into yourself and heal correctly. Set boundaries and follow them. I thought I had boundaries. Then I thought I did. What's up, light bulb? I thought I had boundaries at that time because I talked about them all the time, but I didn't. Let's just be real, because certain things wouldn't have happened if I would have shut some things down. And so, set those boundaries. Build up self-love. Again, pour more into yourself. Self-love is not just outer adornment. Self-love is really cleaning up your heart space, cleaning up your mind space. If you still hating a person, if you still angry about it, if you still feeling some type of way, if you still look at somebody and cringe, it's time to clean up your heart space. It's time to clean that up. That's self-love, so that you are walking around, you are alive, and you are free. That is just a beautiful place to be, alive and free. Because guess what? People are alive and bound. People are out here bound. I mean, just think about it. The space that they go into every day. It could be hell for them. We are to bring heaven on earth. So guess what? Hell is here on earth too. And we create those spaces in our homes. We create those spaces in our workplaces when we go there and we're complaining all the time. Everything is bad. You cussing everybody out. That's hell. Hell and heaven can be created here. That's what we were told to do. And so what are you creating after you have survived a broken person? What are you creating? You creating heaven, or are you creating hell? And so that's something to think about. Pray intentional prayers of covering over yourself. Pray intentional prayers of covering. Every single day, I literally have to cover myself. I got to cover my mind. I got to cover my heart. I have to cover myself, because you are in a world full of overly stimulated people that is getting so much information that it's unheard of. Even our children. Just an overabundance of people and confusion. Everybody don't have, everybody. That's why I got to put my bubble on. I put my bubble on, like, wait, my heart, because I can feel people. I can feel things. People are heavy when they're anxious. I can feel that. And so you have to cover yourself. Be intentional with covering yourself. I'm talking about promises to yourself. If you have survived a broken person, I'm talking about promises to you. The last thing is watch out for the same characteristics as the last person, no matter the relationship, and love yourself enough to not to discard the blatant red flags. Okay, let's just be honest. I done seen some red flags like in my face, blatant. And I'm just I just want to see the best in everybody. I just want to see the good in everybody. And I'm about to get it. I'm about to get everything this person, this lunatic, has to give. Because I want to see the good in everybody, which is nothing wrong with that. But I'm talking about blatant red flags. Things that's like, oh, wait a minute. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, wait a minute. But we just keep on going. So make sure, no matter what you do, take that energy. Take all of that love that you got, because you got so much love to give. You got so much love to give. Take all of it and pour it right back. Because that is how the world will be changed, because you will be the best version of yourself. I hope that this has helped somebody. Again, be on the lookout for Poetry and Conversations. The next one will be April 18th with the new location. But yeah, if you have survived, make sure you look out for you now. and it's okay. Meet me here next week. It'll be the men's edition. I wonder who's going to be on. But I love you, and there is nothing you can do about it. I will see you next week, okay? Peace.